What is up, bros? How you doing?
That is our signature opening, and
That's it.
we have the habit of, we're starting a habit of scaring our guests.
We are scaring our desks
Yeah.
and our clients.
And the clients are like, what the heck was that?
They're like, oh my gosh, someone's being heard on the porch.
It's Porch Time with Pastor B.
Welcome back.
Yep, here we are. On the porch.
Today, on this episode of Porch Time, I want to welcome in my co-host, my lovely co-host, Steve, a.k.a. West Coast. You guys know him. There's a bit of change coming in the air. The wind is blowing today, which is a beautiful thing. We got a hurricane coming, but the wind is blowing. Fall is just around the corner. So attitudes are getting better. I had to break out my vest today. I don't care that it's still in the 80s right now. I wanted to wear my vest, so sue me. Vest life is the best life.
There you go.
Tweet that.
There you go.
So Steve and I were talking a little bit earlier just about some stuff that he's walking through in his own journey, and I told Steve, I said, Steve, this needs to be on Porch Time. So I want to give an opportunity. So please welcome to the stage, Steve.
Yeah, so I don't know about you. I don't know how long it's been since you achieved from Trek, but I'm right at about the 1 year mark. Mm-hmm. It's been a lot of hard work, leaving here, going home, using the tools and stuff. And mind you, Julie and I my wife and I have used the IFABs, done a real good job communicating. So here I am sitting, had my 1 year anniversary last month.
Yep.
And I was sitting down to lunch today with a buddy of mine who is at about the same spot. And then I'm starting to look at other guys at about the same spot. So I don't know if this is kind of like the tread wear on your tire, that you get to a certain spot and you got to go check the air in your tires again because it loses PSI.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of nails in my right rear tire. I got to keep filling up air. But here's where I'm going with this. When you live in community for 12 weeks, and
Intense community, yeah.
And you're learning these IFABs, and then you're learning to share them, and I'm learning to express these things to guys and stuff like that. You start to get on a little bit of a roll. It's kind of like, oh, okay, I can do this. I've never used this tool before, and you come out of Trek and like going, oh, and we've all made that declaration, just like we said, oh, we'll be buddies forever. We made that declaration, I am going to use these for the rest of my life, and we've taught our family, and that's all good, but I'm finding myself be in a slump, and it looks like this. It's kind of, I'm a baseball guy, and so like this is my favorite month right now. We got the Major League Baseball playoffs going on, so I'm watching almost like every inning.
Yeah.
But I've also been involved in baseball for many, many years. I was a high school and college baseball umpire. My boys always played. My boys have even coached. And here's the thing, even while we're in the playoffs right now, you have the best teams out there trying to get to the World Series, and there's a guy in that dugout that is crucial to that team succeeding, and that guy's called the hitting coach.
Yeah.
And you're like going, wait, why?
And he's one of multiple coaches on that team.
Yeah, and you're like going,
coaches.
Why do these guys need a hitting coach?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I'm realizing I'm probably missing that right now in my life because I feel like I'm in this slump. My other Trek alum friend said he's the same way too. I'm starting to get a little more defensive in those conversations with my wife. I'm starting to get a little bit like, well, that's your issue, not mine. And I'm being present, and I'm not trying to fix things, but I've kind of lost I've gotten out of my sweet zone. Like Tiger Woods, he'd go and hit a bunch of golf balls after whatever, and he had to get his swing back. And hitting coaches are there to remind you
Of fundamentals.
Yeah. Because guess what? We get out there, we go, oh, I got this.
Yeah, we get fancy.
And we go, and next thing you know, we don't have this for too long. We think we do, but we don't. We think we're masters coming out of Trek of knowing how to do this. And it would be very shameful of me to admit a year later, I kind of forgot how to do. Not that I forgot, but I'm like going, I've lost. Somehow I'm not connecting with her on IFABs.
You've lost your edge.
I've lost my edge.
So let's say it this way. So those of you guys who know me, so I collect pocket knives. Love pocket knives. I'm from Texas, so I usually have a gun and a knife on me at all times. This is a tool. Right, I've always wanted to do this, by the way. Like, I follow a bunch of guys who do knife videos on YouTube. So this is like my first knife review. This is my Spyderco Delica 4 in gray FRN with VG10 steel. This is one of their Seiki City Japan models. It's your basic run of the mill. It's kind of like Toyota Camry, everyday carry. But here's the thing: This is a tool. And when I use this tool, guess what? That blade gets dull. Still a tool, still has purpose, but for this tool to work effectively, I need to go sharpen it up, need to go touch it up. Now, depending on how hard I've used it will determine how much work I need to put in on the diamond stones to sharpen this back where it needs to be. So as we think about what Steve is sharing and where some of you guys probably are, what we did here at HopeQuest is put tools in your tool belt. They're tools. They were designed to be used. We created them for that end. But at some point, tools need to be sharpened. And the only way you know that the tool is dull is when you go to use it and you're finding it's harder. When this is sharp, the effort that it takes to cut something is dramatically lighter than when this thing's dull and I have to start really working to, what's wrong? Oh, the blade's dull. And it takes application to find that out. And so kind of like what Steve is describing, oh, maybe my edge is getting a little dull. Time for a touch up. And the best way we do that is in community. Best way we do that is in one-on-one gospel posse type relationships. And so let that encourage you. It doesn't mean this tool is now defective. If just because this blade goes dull doesn't mean it's defective. It means it's time to sharpen it back up.
I would even say too, on the other side of that, I thought for a minute that you were telling me I was dull.
Yeah.
I would say even too, I don't know about you, but I don't want to be told that something new that I learned that I think I'm proficient in, I've somehow lost my edge because now I'm feeling shameful, negative emotions. I'm going, you know what? So what? I need to go back to basics. There's nothing wrong with going back to basics.
But Ronald Acuna Jr., for his hitting coach to come and tell him, hey, yes, you hit a grand slam last night in game 3 of the NLDS to save your hide versus the Dodgers, he's not going to be, my guess is he would not be defensive because he's constantly looking for new ways to push himself and get better. And so, yes, he hit a grand slam. Yes, those runs are still on the board, but the coach is going to look at him and go, hey, but be mindful. Be mindful of, hey, don't drop your shoulder. Hey, make sure you keep, whatever that looks like, your stance or whatever. And so I think it all goes back to our mindset as well, is so many of us come in here wrestling with shame, and anything that feels like failure hits that nerve of shame so quick. And that's where we need renewed identity. We need to touch up our edge. You know?
And our community that we had here is not there.
It's radically different.
So now I'm going to be more defensive when a guy comes to me and says, "Hey, dude, I see this going on in your life. I can either still be humble and saying, yep, you're right, or I can hide from it and stuff because I don't want to experience shame." So there's a whole bunch of stuff that's wrapped around that stuff because it's like, oh, I've been through track. I should know better.
Yeah. And one of the things we tell our guys here too is don't despise grace and truth because you don't like the package or the wrapper that it came in. It may not be wrapped up the way we like it or delivered in the way we like it, but it's still truth and it's still what we need, right? So I guess the moral of the story is it's still hard. Marriage is hard. Relationships are hard. And I think in some weird ways that's a result of Genesis 3 and our first parents.
You have to be careful because when we start going back to old patterns of how we dealt with stuff, we are that much closer to the ditch, which we travel alongside every day, and it would be more comfortable for me to go numb my pain and act out than it would be to get back on the road and start using my IFABs again correctly.
Yep. Yeah, we're one decision away from stupid. I mean, in reality, all of us are. So it's those are those moments, that we were reminded of Matthew 11:28, where Jesus says, "Hey, you tired? Come to me. I'll give you rest." I'm grateful for that kind of Savior that isn't looking at us going, "You blew it," and starts coming at us. I'm grateful for a Savior that tells us, "Hey, I'm going to give you rest," because I don't know about you, but this is exhausting. Yeah. Trying to do it well and do it healthy in a way that honors Jesus, it's exhausting.
And we need encouragement. So, we're here to encourage you that, it's not going to be perfect every day. We're making progress. We're moving the needle forward.
Yeah.
And that's great. So if you're staying fist bump to you for working hard every day.
Yeah, it's your obedience will always be imperfectly executed. Always. And Jesus knew that when he went to the cross for us. There'll never be a day where our obedience will be perfectly executed. Never. We're human and our motives are also human. And so I think if God showed us all the places we blew it yesterday, we'd probably not get out of bed today. Yep. So, Lord, help us to see the good things that are happening and help us to focus on those and trust God. We're not in control. And there's been a lot of times I've had to be reminded, I'm not my wife's savior. I'm trying to let Jesus be Jesus in her life. And it's amazing how much things improve when I'm trying to get out of the way, and not do what Jesus is supposed to do. So anyways, for what it's worth, we've been rambling on for long enough. Tell them about the thing coming up.
Hey, we have a thing coming up.
We got a deal.
It's down here in the YouTube thing. I don't need to go into any details again, but we're getting closer. We're about 3.5 weeks out. November 2nd, 7 to 9, Woodstock City Church. Love to have you guys there. We got about 20 to 25 alum already showing up with their wives, and the staff will be there. Just a great night of worship and celebrating what God's done. So
it's gonna be phenomenal.
Yeah.
But you know what? We get it. You're busy. You got stuff coming up. Don't show up. Stay at home. Because I get it. High school football Friday night, that's probably more entertaining than what you're going to do.
It'll be reverse
psychology is what we're trying to do.
Okay, there we go.
Come
join us.
Actually, come.
We want you there.
But here's the thing. Listen, hold on before we go. RSVP for this thing. And I don't know why I'm looking down at the screen instead of up here at the screen. RSVP. You. So here's what that means in Latin. RSVP in Latin stands for Remondatif Fidelal. And
s'il vous plaît.
So it means you got to get on the computer, type up the deal, do the thing, hit send, and we'll go, oh, he's coming. And then we know to plan for you. And again, I'm looking at the wrong deal. I don't care. It's Monday. I'm going to look over here just for the heck of it. It's Monday. I don't care. I hope you guys have a great week. Until next time, get on the porch.